All right. Anytime you're ready.
Yeah, man. So we're here with Quasi, real general, real top man in our thing. And we are say, the lion's voice, it. Simple like that. You want to get the knowledge, YouTube, it.
Introduce yourself still.
I guess my name still, you know. Everybody know me, I'm not saying nothing. I guess my name, I start.
What do you have to tell the people about Ras Tafari?
Light to the world. The king of kings and the conquering line of the tribe of Judah. I left himself. Where's my ruler? Hey yo! Yeah, hear them high, hear the black king on the 23rd of July. So tell them guy who praise God up in the sky, it's a lie. The Almighty living on your night. From ancient time them a try. Them Romans know them just open them suit and ties. Criminals ain't got no alibi, they stole my people. Then them come without them genocide.
Are you talking about slavery?
Them couldn't kill the lion where come conquer Judah tribe. Go through tribulation, and I strive, see sufferation, and I still rise. That's why we tell them in America, live Rastafari in every ghetto area. We come if you tell them in a Toronto, straight to Italy.
Now, before we get into today's topic, which is going to be a fascinating topic, we're going to go in depth on the topic. I want to just send some apologies. We had booked the artist Dwayne Stevenson to come on this evening. I spoke to the brethren. I have not been able to get in touch with him. And so tonight, I didn't want to come here and talk by myself. So I did something that the Almighty had blessed I to do, which was to go into the network and reach out. I reached out to I bona fide brethren Ras Lidj, who you saw on Lion Talk and We Reason, and he opened the door. So I'm so happy to say that we have a legend here tonight with us. And we're going to open the discussion from a discussion with just one artist to a panel discussion on the same topic, Ras Tafari, reggae, and the way forward. So I'm very excited to introduce the panel. Stay tuned. Make sure you keep it locked here. We are going to go in depth. Before we go into the program, I want to just big up Ramia King Designs. You see these nice tumbler. You open it up. You put in your hot, your cold liquid. You drink it up. They have all different designs. I had to get Kadamawi Haile Selassie the first. They also have every Caribbean flag, African flags. Link them up. We're going to put the link down in the description. But you can also connect with them at ramiaroots@gmail.com. So big up Ramia King Design, one of our sponsors here on the Lion Voice Network. Big up Ras Lidj and the Reggae family also, CMAS, and of course the Reading Ras merchandise. So, people, ladies and gentlemen, I have the distinct honor to introduce our esteemed panel. Give me the Trinity viewing now. All right, we have Trinity viewing, technical team around the team. All right. So, I want to first introduce my brethren. You've seen him on the platform. He's the founder of Reggae Music. This is an original, unique style coming straight from Southeast Washington, D.C., embracing Jamaica's reggae music and creating a brand new genre or subgenre. Please welcome Ras Lidj. And right beside, yes, blessing to the heights. And right beside him, we have here a living legend here in our DMV community, award-winning singer, songwriter, and producer. They have a big song. We're going to talk about the big song a little bit later. We'll get into it. But please help me to welcome Lion Pride warmly. Great Carl Malcom. Blessing.
Blessing.
Carl. Mighty, mighty, mighty panel. So for those who are not aware, please just give a little bit of background, Carl, about some of your achievements, starting in Jamaica, coming, you know, the journey to the DMV. For the younger generation, we have some younger viewers that may not know the name and the legend that is in front of us today.
Well, I can just say that I'm Carl Malcom. They call me legend because I started from the early 50s in Jamaica, recording, hanging around music, bands and whatever. Wherever music was, I was there. So I've lived through music about three different generations. So it's hard for me to say everything. It would take a whole night. But through music, I was inspired as a child to write poetry. And I started doing that from about 5, 6, you know, between 5 and 6, as soon as I could put words together. And then that developed into a habit of writing poetry. Then later on in life, I realized that I was really writing songs. Because I started listening to people like Brooke Benton, Ray Charles, Nat King Cole, you know. A lot of the older guys who people don't really even hear about these days. But those were my inspiration at the time. Because that was long before even reggae came to Jamaica. It was like from the mentor days.
Okay.
So my first exposure to it was my people had a little shop. They call them store, but we had like a corner shop. And every Friday night, the people from the area would come around, musicians who build their own guitars from bamboo and board guitars and stuff like that. And they didn't have like bass guitar. They had a thing called a rumba box, which is this thing that man would sit on the box and it carries the bass, little strips of metal, and that would have 3 different sounds of tung 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 tung, something like that. So from those days, I was interested, and I said, I like what's happening. So every Friday night or Saturday night, the people would come out in my little neighborhood, my little store, my little shop, and they would have little things like that. All night they would be playing, you know, who's not playing domino is drinking white rum and playing, and, you know. So it was like a stage show from that time. I didn't realize it. So that grew with me through the years. Until it came to 1968, I did the first recording with Coxsone, a song called Rios. And from that on, again, Peru Raiders, I did one called Make It When You Try. These records were not as popular. It wasn't popular, but at least it brought me to recording world.
Stick a pin there, because you call a big name. You drop a big bump on them when you see a name like Coxsone. What was it like to meet, you know, this is an iconic name in the reggae music that we're going to talk about, the direction and how it connects with Ras Tafari. We're going to get into all of that.
Yeah.
But talk about how did you meet Sir Coxsone, and what was that experience like working with a legendary producer like that?
Well, it was, to me, it was just an opportunity, because I didn't realize how great the man was until, you know, later on in life. We at that time, we wanted to get involved with any producer. But those were the main producers were like Coxsone. Anybody who passed through Coxsone or Dynamics or Federal, those were the 3 main producers, people going around. So Coxsone was more like a grassroots man who would pick anybody from the ghetto or the streets and help them. I used to work at a club called Tit for Tat up there with a band called Mighty Volcanoes. I used to be the background singer. Al Brown used to be the first singer, and I was the second singer. And then Coxsone used to come up there, you know, used to drink up there. So he saw me one night, and he was listening to me one night, and he says, he said, Jackson, you have a good voice. He called me Jackson. He said, Jackson, you have a good voice. So I didn't know who he was at the time. And they said, that's Coxsone was talking. I said, what? So I went back to him and said, Coxsone, I have some songs. You know, he said, yeah. All right, come down to the studio Sunday for audition. They have audition every Sunday. And he would be one who taking the audition. So I went to the back room. There was a half done back room at the back of the studio and sing. And I started singing. And then he said, okay, go in the studio and tell Brother Morris. So,
were you nervous? Auditioning before the great Coxsone?
Yeah, he was nervous to say, go in the studio and go to Brother Morris. Morris just passed away about two days ago. God bless his soul, Sylvan Morris. He was the engineer down there. And Larry Marshall and Sister Enid was, you know, one who helped string up the wires and string up the stuff on there. They went in there, man, went in there. I saw the musicians in there and they said, well, start to sing. I started singing Bobby Calfat. Started to, you know, strum it out on the grand piano. And then you have people like Bagger Case and then people coming. There were musicians at this time. And Peter Carter, Father Frios. Man, I couldn't believe that was Professor when I heard it. But these were the days when you had 2 tracks. So they put all the music on one, and you have another track with your voice on. So if you want to voice with the harmony would be over your shoulder, and they would have pull them back or push them forward to adjust the sound they want, because there's 2 tracks. And those were not the days you could sing and patch. You have to sing straight through. So musicians from that era had to be respected because they really had what it takes to make it to stardom, you know.
One take. Yes.
If not one take, you come back and take another take. If it takes all day, and if you stay too long, producer get mad and say, look, go home and practice and come back.
Wow.
So when you get that far with Coxsone, nobody wants to lose that opportunity. Because when I was going in the studio, a lot of people outside looking like, who that won't get through. You know, people were waiting on it for days and days. I used to go down there and hang around after times, hang around down there and didn't realize that, and if I get a chance to see Cox.
Wow.
And then when I just start know who Coxsone is now, then that's when I realized he started coming around to the club, and then by the way, we get to know each other. So it was a joy working with him. I thought I realized who he was, you know.
A part of history.
Yeah, part of history.
And you would go on to make your own history. Talk about, you know, what put you on the map, so to speak.
Well, the sound that put me on the map is No Gesturing. That was same thing happened. Clive Chin used to come up to the club. He and Jacob Miller and used to hang around with Carlton, the drummer for Bob Marley. He used to come up there. And I always pest him. I always say, look, I got some record, I got music. And he said, okay, come down to the studio. Went on a Wednesday. Went out there. Went to the studio with Sly.
Hold on. Are you talking about Sly Dunbar?
Yeah, man.
Okay, because we have to, you drop some name casually, you know.
Yeah, man.
Just legend, you're just throwing around.
I remember Kwasi. That's why you see me stay the way me stay, because of my mentor, this, you know.
Yeah, man.
Ain't got no money, I'm short on cash. Plus a little bit I got to make it last. Some driving in the fast lane, drive too fast, and when they crash, no for them crack like glass. Some act like they never had no past. I ask them about the history, them grin and laugh. They don't know what we've been through, see what they into. I say I'm African, no, they say they're Africans too. Well, who built the OAU? When I ask them for them now, they can't say who. How many stay true and seek that life? How many sell them soul for the money and hype? It's funny how money make a man delight. The same money turn around and make him lose his life. But who gonna teach the people them how to survive? But we not the lion from Judah tribe. Who gonna make sure that the black man rise? We not the lion from Judah tribe. Who gonna take the dogs and open their eyes? We not the lion from Judah tribe. Who gonna shine his light, reveal all lies? We not the lion from Judah tribe.